The bait or rig of the day is the hover rig, and I have an original Gets It on here. The hover rig is something that gets talked about quite a bit on YouTube, but there's one thing they don't tell you. You want to find out what that is? Ready, run, and gun. It's time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. The hover rig, I like it. It's a good setup, but there's one problem that twists your line, and I'm talking within a couple, 3 casts. You go to pull a thing out of the water, that bait's spinning like this. You guys have been with me long enough know that I don't like line twist. I will not tolerate line twist. So after trying the hover rig, I put it down. Then I started thinking, well, what if you was to modify that hover rig? What I do, about 6 inches above that lure, I take a very small size 0 black ball bearing swivel with solid rings, not split rings. What this allows the bait to do is spin. Once I went to this, I never had line twist issues again, and I could throw the hover rig. Now, there's all different kind of baits you can throw a hover rig. My favorite, of course, is the tube, but there's one modification I do to it to make it work. The tubes are soft right here, and the hover rig can cut right through that tube, okay? You don't want that. What I do is I carry little pieces of paper towels, and I'll ball it up about the size of a Q-tip head, and I'll stick it in here and push it all the way to the head of this tube. So when you push the hover rig in, you have cushion against that tube. That's something else they don't really tell you about either. It will tear up your lures. But if you're fishing a tube, which this works amazingly on a tube, always put a piece of paper towel up inside of here to cushion that head, so the tip of that hover rig can't puncture through the head of it. And not only that, if you put you a syringe in there, squirt you some fish formula or something in there, that packet will also hold scent and release it through the tube as you're fishing it. It'll last a lot longer. So there's another tip. You can even pack some more in here too if you want to. If you really want to super slow this thing down, if you can get to fit in there, you can put a very small thin piece of foam inside of here, or styrofoam, if you can get to fit in there. Only problem with styrofoam, after it sits in the soft plastic for about a half hour, it'll start to melt. So you might want to keep your eye on that if you decide to use styrofoam. But that's what they don't tell you right there is, you got to have, see that? You got to have some kind of split ring on here to keep that thing from twisting your line. And not only that, if you're fishing tubes or anything holler, you want to put you a small piece of paper towel right there in the front to cushion that head so it can't puncture back through that head. And that bait will last you a very long time without getting tore up. So just want to throw that out there to you. The one thing they don't tell you, the most important, split ring. The second, pack that front with something so it doesn't poke through the tube or your lure and ruin it. You have to put another one on, so you don't want that. But that's all I have, guys. The hover rig is a great system. Just make sure you put a swivel on top of it, and a very, very small swivel. That way, this is heavier than the swivel, and it'll work a whole lot better that way. Never had an issue with that size 0 swivel. It works perfectly with that. And this is the 32nd ounce. Or 332nd. That's the 332nd. So that's all I got, guys. So until next time, may the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name. And as always, fish on.